Let's go here next. I thought that BYU, Texas Tech, Iowa State specifically were very impressive this weekend in Big 12 play. Week 1 means that you're going to have a lot of schools that play FCS opponents or inferior opponents. You could be the Kansas State of the world. Wait, let's go back. You could be the Kansas State of the world, 38-35, your final score. Or you could be the Iowa State against the number 4 FCS team in the country, 55-7. The Texas Tech, 67-7. The BYU, 69-0. I will keep West Virginia out of this category, mostly because watching this game, namely the turnovers early, were ugly. West Virginia was not elite in their battle against Robert Morris, and I will put them in the category of teams that actually impressed me beating FCS opponents. I'm going to double down on BYU being the most surprising team against an FCS school. I foresaw Texas Tech winning by a lot against UAPB. I did not foresee Iowa State winning by a lot, but I did see them controlling the game. They should control the game. Coming off of Ireland, they should have had more rust. And they had a 7-7 ball game at one point, but they blew it out. BYU did just a ton of things that I wasn't ready for. They covered 44.5. The over of 62.5 hit, and the opposing team didn't score a single point. And if you look at the box score, if we just hone in on BYU solely for a second, Bear Bachmeier, their freshman quarterback, who we're all wondering, will he be good? Can I be honest with you? I don't know I think Portland State's bad, but I don't know if I can emphasize the importance that it is for a school like BYU to prove to the country they don't suck. What we learned in this game, we already knew about Iowa State. We already knew about Texas Tech. There was a question mark shrouding around BYU in the Big 12. Do they suck? And there will be BYU fans who are like, oh, there's no doubt. Maybe there was no doubt in your mind. But you lose your senior starting quarterback. Earlier in the day, you see him perform extremely well for Tulane, and you wonder, did BYU, because of the honor code, miss out on a guy that could help them win a national championship, help them be a college football playoff contender, or win the Big 12? Then Bear Bachmeier comes out, and let's not confuse ourselves. We are playing a team that allowed Cody Hagan to go 2 carries for 57 yards and a score. LJ Martin, only 8 carries, 16.4 yards per carry for 131 yards. They allowed Bear Bachmeier to go 5 carries, 32 yards, 2 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns in the first half alone for Bear Bachmeier. It does, if I have to be transparent here, it takes playing William and Mary, but in a game where William does not show up, for a team to be able to do that, no matter how good or bad you are. That's kind of part of it. But BYU showcased they weren't going to do what Kansas State did. They weren't going to toy around with a middle-of-the-pack FCS team. They were going to blow them out. That is impressive. You proved to the country, Carson Ryan. You proved to the country, LJ Martin. You proved to the country, Chase Roberts, you do not suck. And now, had this been a 31-27 game, a Kansas State-esque game, BYU has more question marks. BYU has to answer more from me, more from you, more from everybody. But the Cougars got it done. There is no excuse. You cannot start losing now. You can't lose to Stanford and be like, well, this was kind of a rebuilding and regaining year. No. You just told me you're not terrible at football. We set the floor. We raised the floor. The ceiling didn't change a ton, to be honest with you, because Portland State's just not good, if I'm transparent. But the floor moved up. It's a good thing. Iowa State over South Dakota. South Dakota is the number 4 team in FCS. Now, before I go wax poetic about Iowa State, I should. They are now the legit contender of the Big 12, considering how Arizona State played, and this is the reason they're not in this category, considering the way Arizona State played. And when we talk about teams that blew out FCS schools, and Kansas kind of ebbs and flows in here as well. Iowa State, in these 2 matchups, the first 2 weeks of their season, I mean, who else? Who else do you put at number 1 in the Big 12? they have showcased against the number 4 team in the FCS, the number 17 team in the country in FBS, that they are, how you say, good at football. Incredibly impressed with what Iowa State has done. Incredibly impressed with their ability defensively this season. Rocco Becht, 19 for 20. Do you know how good that is? Very. Their rushing attack, Dylan Lee. I didn't know the name Dylan Lee coming into this football season. I knew Carson Hansen and Abu Sama. Dylan Lee, 13 carries, 81 yards, a touchdown. Iowa State was legit. Texas Tech. Now, here's a big question. I'm the whip around guy, right? You're supposed to be like, oh, I listen to Locked On Big 12 and know all the stuff I got to know about Baron Morton coming out of this game with a lower body leg injury was one of the worst things of all time. I was with no box score available for Texas Tech, by the way, per ESPN, because they played UAPB and all of America was like, you know what? Don't even keep stats. There's just not a reason to keep stats in this game. UAPB, it's not worth it. There is a point in this game, Baron Morton goes down with a lower body injury. That, I want to reiterate, scary, not good. I don't think he is the savior of Texas Tech. I don't think he is the Patrick Mahomes of Texas Tech. Who was the quarterback for Utah last year? The Cam Rising of Texas Tech. I don't think if he goes down, the season is over for the Red Raiders. The fact he went down, the fact there was a long rain delay during halftime, and you're already dominating the first half. Pretty much from jump, Texas Tech is dominating this game. You come back out. This is, again, halftime score of 47-0. You come back out, immediately go up 61-0. That just shows me Texas Tech is a team that will take care of business. With or without Baron Morton, I believe Baron Morton will be there the rest of the season. It sounds like, talking to Chris Level, who was on the field for Texas Tech, that Baron Morton is okay. He is good. You don't need him in non-conference per se, but he could be one of the sneakier QBs in the entire Big 12. That is something that I think puts Texas Tech not just on the map, but for the rest of the Big 12, you go, okay, they were already on the map. So we didn't put them on the map, but now we put them squarely in Big 12 title contender based on how they played against, yes, an FCS opponent. But that's what this segment is for. Who did their job against a bad team? Texas Tech did. Kansas did as well. You're in that category. But that was a few days ago. I've slept since then. BYU did. Iowa State did. Those are the schools that jumped off the page against teams that aren't good, but you proved you're not bad. Weird thing to say, but Kansas State did not prove that they're not bad. And we're going there next. Kansas State, what are you doing? Locked On Big 12. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. I go to FanDuel and I say, FanDuel, here's what I think. I think that BYU will score 75 points in a game. So I'm going to take the over of 60. I think BYU will beat their opponent, Portland State, by 63 points or whatever it is. So the spread of 42 or 48 is just, I just go and I parlay those, the over and the spread. And you know what happens when I win? FanDuel sends me money instantly. That's the beauty of FanDuel. I love it. I go to FanDuel all the time and I use the app because it's super easy. They pay you immediately. FanDuel is the place to go. Visit the FanDuel app today. Start planning your NFL season. Keep playing your college football season. And there is a beautiful opportunity for you to win money. Yes, you. That's right. You to win money on FanDuel. Go to FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app as well. You can use it on your desktop or on the app and you'll be in business with FanDuel. Join FanDuel and do it today.